What's up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today we're going to do a little bit of an account review of my account. We are mainly going to look at all the little details, all the things that don't really make it into most of my videos. We're going to talk about the achievements, we are going to talk about the resources, artifact chests, heroes, copies, everything that is on this account. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight of what I'm going to do, what I'm planning for the account, what I think my next steps are. So I would say we hop right into it. I think a good place to start is actually just the hero list, because that is something a lot of people care about. And in the thumbnail you kind of saw a little bit of it. I've sorted it by awakening tier right here. Currently, this account has 3 X tiers, has 4 SSS tiers, and people often forget about this guy. The Mockman is still on the account. So we still have this SSS Mockman copy over here, which is pretty strong actually. Armor, damage reduction, giant kill, defier, pretty high stats, pretty good actually. Do I have plans for it? Not really. I don't know. There was certainly the point where I thought about selling it, where there was a second Mockman copy in the auction house, and I just bought it and made it into X tier because that was cheaper. By planning to resell this one, obviously, and then I didn't do it somehow. So now I have an X Mockman and an SSS Mockman. I thought that I would eventually use it, I guess, as food, probably for another X tier. The plan for another X tier, well, we are kind of working on it. More info is coming for that a little bit later in the video, so stay tuned for it. We have kind of a similar situation here with this SS Freya. Silence immunity on the copy is worth nothing. Yeah, really probably good as food. Those used to be super rare. I remember being very happy getting a Freya copy, and yeah, I got this one back then, and that was a big thing. That was really a bad thing. It's not a bad copy. It's like 29 to full progress. It's like probably not the super lowest roll. So it was back then, it was pretty cool to have this SS copy. Then at one point I saw an opportunity to upgrade it and got myself this one, which has very much so better speed, which is rather nice, because that is something you really want on a Freya. If you want to use her, you want her to go first, and having big speed on her, and well, and very way much better average, because this copy in fact is max stats for SS tier. Doesn't look like it at all. We're going to see a few more of those copies, but this is indeed max roll of SS tier. So that was like the upgrade there, and then we kind of have a few more copies that are just floating around my back, and I kind of think those are interesting because you don't usually see them. Same for this guy, which I wanted to sell him, never really did it. Then we have a few project copies. I got this A+ Michelle. Kind of thought about just like, well, how should I say it? I kind of thought about using this as food, then didn't once again. Then I thought about maybe making a video about her, because she's, for a normal hero, spectacularly interesting. She has a lot of traits that are very unique actually about her, and then I never really got to it. So now this copy is sitting on my account. We have a few more of those projects. We can basically go through them right here. This is the Eloise. I wanted to do an Eloise video, which I haven't done now. It is basically, the plan was to do a video about Eloise on my account. Obviously, we can put soul power and everything on here, and getting like 300-400 million attack on here. I thought it would be interesting to see what she can do, what is possible with her. It still is a plan. Kind of want to do it. It has some serious problems, which a lot of those videos have, and that is divine power. I have a very similar idea here with Dark Arthendal, where we got like this A tier copy, and Dark Arthendal is a cool hero. Seeing her again would be really great. But she also struggles with that. Freya is not really a project, neither is Queen. Bait, we are going to do bait, obviously. 7,000 attack nearly, pretty cool. This video is 100% coming, no matter what. Garuda, kind of similar idea than as Eloise. I wanted to do something with Garuda that is like more of a hero to me than Eloise. What did I mean by that? Well, when I started Eloise didn't exist. She wasn't there back then. So what you were doing was basically you would use Garuda for the same purposes. So I looked into my screenshots and my account kind of looked like this, which is a little bit different than today. But back then I had 2 Garudas and I was particularly proud, ladies and gentlemen, of the absolutely glorious chicken skin, because back then those skins weren't easily obtainable. You had to get them mostly during the event that they were released in, at which you had to buy like a 50 USD pack where the skin was in, and then, well, at some point later you could get it through a chest in an event, I think, but that was rather rare. So not many people had that, and I had one with the cowboy skin, I think, and one with this chicken skin. And that was my PvE clear. And that was the best there was back then. So that was like the thing. And I thought I would take us back to the roots of Garuda clears. And never really has happened. And we have kind of a very interesting amount of heroes here. Honestly, to an extent, my A heroes are more interesting to me than my SS copies. We have like a ton of copies over here. Obviously, we should probably, before we really head into the A copies, go over the S copies. I think that is right. There's more story in the A copies. Let's start with the A copies. We do the S copies afterwards. So, we have quite a few here. I don't want to say something about every single one. Neither I think it is feasible to show every single copy in this video unless we want to make it like an hour-long version. But I want to point some things out. This Xeer, in fact, the copy of Jesus is here. That is the Xeer of Jesus here. He convinced me to buy it from him with the idea that I could upgrade it at some point, and if I don't find an S-tier Xeer, I could use this one and upgrade it. That is a remainder of that still. Very, very interesting for that. Then we have Ignatia, the first Transcendence hero after a long while that basically broke my chain of getting all the Transcendence heroes at S tier. I had this goal, I fulfilled this goal, I had every single Transcendence hero at S tier. Then Ignatia arrived, prices went through the roof, and Ignatia was in fact so bad that I just didn't want to buy an S tier. So I said, okay, I got it once, I achieved it once, and in fact all those S tiers that I had at that point when I had every S tier Transcendence hero in the game are still on the account, but Ignatia was like the breaking point, which makes her kind of interesting, I guess. We have a few all-tenant copies. Grimoire, for example, still very, very good tenant. Then again, residences don't no longer play a big role, especially on an endgame account. They really provide a very, very minimal amount of attack to a copy like my LFA, for example, which I'm going to definitely talk about in a second. So no longer that important. I probably wouldn't buy them. They have fallen in price in the auction house quite a lot. But back then, they used to be rather valuable. I remember times vividly where you could get high tenant copies, even for like an Grimoire or something. We could sell those for a high price because people wanted them to get the maximum attack possible out of like their LFAs, SFX, their whatever. It doesn't matter for the hero that was dear to them or meta at the time. Either one. Depends. Then we have a few more heroes that I just bought because I kind of felt like they were interesting. Mainly cool copies. 7000 attack Russell I thought was really, really cool. Faithblade in general I think is a very cool hero that I always wanted to make a video about and point out some things. We had like a little bit of an older hero series, but stuff like innate stun immunity in the passive skills, that is really cool. So that was always something that I thought was rather interesting. Of course, in the last live stream, we got our first account-bound copy that I intend to keep, a 7000 attack Madeline, which we are going to make in a Transcendence hero. I don't know yet if we're going to get an S tier, but an A tier is certainly on the account. And then a few that kind of held back to us from older times. I guess some things, Forces as a force ward damage dealer, used for that quite a lot. Valk was an experiment that we had there. Valk still very, very interesting. The thing about Valk that fascinates me the most is really her skin, actually, because we have this HP skin. A skin with, in fact, 2 times an HP stat that also gets upgraded on of course, the Mythic rarity, which I still think is rather cool. Turns out it's absolutely useless and she's no good at all as a normal hero on your account, and at the moment it's a little bit sad, but I don't mind. Gone with her, that's okay. So I think that's all I want to say really about the A tiers. Let's start with the S tiers. Let's start with the ones that I don't show that often, which is really like those, I guess. Olivia Heartwatcher, I don't really have to say anything about it, but I guess it would be interesting to see my copies. I'm not happy with the roll over here. It's not a bad roll. Holy Armor Damage Reduction, Science Immunity works out. Rather low roll S tier, whatever I could get, and I think I got it for quite a decent price. But still gives me overall fairly good stats, I reckon. Not bad. Then we got a Heartwatcher with the 37 billion attack. We got the 267 million attack over here. And roughly 6,500 soul power can be on here. Seal of Light and Silence Immunity both on there, which I would consider as a pretty good roll. Could add some damage reduction, which would be nice. Divine Block, I don't know if it really does what I was supposed to. But yeah, that one certainly on there. We got Ignis, S tier there. Also a little bit of a Blast of a Past hero when Ignis was still commonly used in Star Expedition. This was, of course, a very good hero. Ignis still rather cool. I don't know if I actually got... I wanted to always get this skin. I still have to get this skin. Oh, we can do that very quickly. Quick excursion here. Quick excursion into the guild store. Because, of course, we have some resources there as well. We can do a very quick view in here. I haven't used the Ace coupons for quite some time, actually. So that makes us actually easily able to buy the Lady of Versailles skin, which is rather nice. Back then, this was my favorite skin. Mecha Red Lotus skin for carry, I still think is really, really cool. I think it was also rather popular. Then we got like the SQH skin, and then at one point they just stopped. Interesting fun fact about this, by the way. I always thought this was a BQA skin. It is in fact an Arania skin. I noticed this a while ago. So for normal Arania, a skin, and probably one of the last skins even we saw for a normal hero, because now this doesn't really happen anymore. But really the small thing we could just complete here, getting the skin for the Ignis. We will equip it probably later. Then the next one is a Flame Strike, one of the more interesting heroes that we have with Burn over here. And in fact, scaling on Burn, which I thought was interesting and something that could maybe be worth a video. It never really worked out. Then I kind of wanted to have the copy as food because it was rather cheap. Kept it somehow, never used it for anything as food. Maybe at one point we will, or we do another Flame Strike video if it turns out that we can make this work. The only problem with it really is that Flame Shrine bosses still purify damage over time effects, which I'm vividly against, for the reason we come now to. Ithaca, of course, S tier, a hero I desperately want to revive and want to bring back into Flame Shrine, but with the purify those puppets have now, which I didn't used to have in the past, it is rather difficult, and we probably can't bring the damage over time build back and right straight for damage. It's just not worth it to run Ithaca, at least not with the Elysium combo. And really the cool thing are the damage over time effects, and I think people will love to see that. So I'm still trying to get the age to remove damage over time purify from the bosses in Flame Shrine and from all the Void campaign enemies as well, because I think damage over time could really use this upgrade or this little bit of help. So now we are in like the top tier of my copies, where it's less about the stories, more about the power really. And I think we start with the 3 crown jewels of this account, which is my IHP, very, very great copy that I like to use, mainly because she has a very, very interesting synergy with the body perfection stat that we have not on here, sadly, at the moment. Rerolling this copy is in fact a little bit of a problem. We need the burn immunity on here. For all the XT stats and explanation for that, you can reference to any of my videos. But we are still in the process of rolling that, and it seems to be a never-ending task. I really like this because we have an effect here when any hero dies. We have different buff effects that we can provide to us and even to allies, and I think this makes her a very, very interesting hero for PvP. For PvE, for some Void campaign burst, we have this Star Swordsman Mockman, not on max stats, obviously still very, very high soul power cap, and interestingly enough, he is a tenant for LFA. So yeah, that is kind of cool. LFA, of course, for bosses. He is a tenant for that, and provides 26 million attack. And so is, by the way, my PDE, which provides 19 million attack. So pretty big tenant over here. quite juicy, quite nice. So a little bit of an extra buff for that. We got a fairly nice PvE roll that I don't like. So the thing is, we have skill damage, holy damage, body protection, giant killer, pure flow, which is great. But without burn immunity, he can be one-shot by Valks, which is kind of detrimental to a hero that you want to use for that. So I kind of would prefer to have burn immunity on him, get him immune to Valk. At best, the best thing would be actually get the holy damage gone away, put the skill damage away, and get poison immunity and burn immunity on here. Immune to Valks, immune to Homsiang. Easy. Easy money. All the clears, no problems. Would be great, we'll never get that. And if I try to reroll that, I end up with like an IHP story where I have like 6 months, where I rerolled it for the next 6 months, which is horrible. Then we have LFA. 816 million attack, the highest attack on my account. 20 billion power in total. And, well, a fully maxed X-tier copy. This is in fact as high as you can upgrade any hero in the game. 11,900 is the maximum. We covered it in a video. It can't be upgraded anymore, so this is as good as it gets. And I would say we actually have a great roll on this copy. It is skill damage, Hunter's Focus, Defier, Giant Killer, body protection, upgrading any buff that you receive by 33%, which is of course good. And then Defier, Giant Killer, skill damage, Hunter's Focus, we can definitely use as well. So we have 5 very good stats on this copy, which is incredibly hard to achieve, on top of a max roll X tier copy, which allows us to get such high attacks. And put as much soul power as we can, the 13,900 soul power on here, so this is absolutely max and is of course the best copy on my account. For the SSS tiers, we have a max roll SSS tier over here on my PDE, which I at one point thought about upgrading but never really saw the merit in it because, well, you kind of have to have any advantage from the X tier stats that you can get on the copy, and none of the X tier stats seem to particularly be good for my PDE, so I never thought that it would be worth it to spend, well, probably around, what is it right now, another 250,000 starry gems, which is kind of a lot, I guess, on upgrading it to X tier, which is really, it's just this small jump that you have to take from the limit break over here, where we can of course select her. It would be one S tier, one SS tier, and one SSS tier, which we are going to do another hero, just not on her. It doesn't provide a major stat boost, by the way. It is not very big. So that is one. Then this one, probably the copy I overpaid the most for. I will be transparent. Back then I paid 500,000 starry gems for this copy. No transforms price. And this was probably the worst purchase that I've made in Idle Heroes. We can say that, because it was way too much. Obviously, it was way too much. But the thing is, it is so incredibly rare. It is so incredibly rare. I don't think there's a second one. I don't think there is a second one even. So I got that. I know Toad doesn't have one. He told me, I think a week ago, he was like, he doesn't have an SSS LDA. So I thought this is kind of cool. We do have an SSS on this account that Toad doesn't have, which is pretty nice. No matter what, I will never again be able to sell this for 500,000. There is no other person that crazy in this game. I thought for a long time it was like a big mistake. I got to enjoy this guy. In the process of making the last Transcendence Hero video, I got to enjoy this guy, and he performed, to my utmost surprise, very, very well in many game modes, including mainly FTA. FTA with all the buffs missing and everything. He performs very, very nice. So I was quite happy about that, and so I do intend to keep him. Probably won't upgrade him to X tier. Would have no effect in the end, I guess. Wouldn't be very good, but I keep him as is, and I'm very happy with it. And then we have the last SSS tier, Star Alchemist Homsiang. If you may have seen a certain kind of copy that I prefer. It is not necessarily that I prefer the most common copies, it's mostly that I like rare copies, which is also why I bought an SSS Homsiang, because it is a rather rare copy and something where the numbers are specifically rather low. You have a lot of SSS LFA, but not a lot of SSS style Storms Youngs, so I like this. And for this one, I really thought about upgrading him to X tier. For me, it's always rather interesting when a hero has an effect to self-buff. Here we, for example, have not this one, wait. Here we have a very, very interesting self-buff. Over here, after consumes 12 layers of transition power to increase self-attack by 50%, holy damage by 50%, all damage reduction by 45%. And I thought, well, this is kind of interesting if you buff that by 33% on top of that. That could be kind of fun. And yeah, so it stays a dream. We are a little bit too far away from my liking. We would have to do the 8 upgrades, which is expensive even if it's only 8. And then we would have to do the upgrades. We probably end up with like 350k that we would pay for upgrading this copy, and it was never worth it for me. The SSS at one point we will find use. For the SS tiers, we already looked at one copy. I want to point out like the interesting ones. And we do have copies, good copies of almost every single hero, even of something like Vespera. We do have a very, very great copy. Sylvie is a strong one. Wukong, max roll actually. This is like max SS tier. So very, very high stats and in speed and attack exactly where you want them. So this is very, very great. I love the roll, by the way. It's great for PvP. So this is a wonderful copy. A hero, by the way, that is very, very cool if you have him at X tier, even though he himself mostly profits from these stat buffs, not really from the other stats. Great Norton Hate copy. Very, very thankful to have that. I really want to make a team again with him, because it's a very cool hero. Melissa, also like a very high roll copy. A deceiving one. I will harm myself right now. No, I won't harm myself. I can't say that in the video. I will harm the price of my copy. Let's say that. This isn't good. I would like to say this is good, but you want the HP because you want to use like the Nova Star Soul on her, and to do that you want as much HP as possible. So really the attack and the speed don't really do it. You would want speed HP, but it looks cool like this. So this is the advantage, I guess. Pretty cool copy. G-Star, haven't used him for a while. It's again the same problem as with Ithaca. Dot Purify kind of destroys him, but he's cool. I like him, and we want to make a video about him one more day. Already saw this one, and we have EOS. Weird SS copy, bought it for super cheap. She had a hype somewhere in between where I probably should have sold this copy because now she's worth nothing. We have super high speed and yeah, exactly zero use out of her. Scarlet Queen Alora, that is an expensive one. It's beautiful. Let's be honest about this. 9,400 here, the SSS attack and the speed, and then we have Giant Killer, Defier, Silence Immunity, Skill Damage. I love this copy. This is a really beautiful one. I would not like to sell it. SFX, want to have a good copy, never used it. Great, maybe one day. And then we have the Freya copy, we already took a look at that. And then we are already in the S tiers with the one that Mr. Tiamo likes the most, the Finn. Not a great copy. It is S tier. I needed it for the completion. I actually self-upgraded that one. So it's as low roll as S tier as it can be. Very, very good hero, actually. Don't often admit that, but he's a great hero. And maybe one day we'll build him if we can get a better copy. I don't think I don't really like to build stuff with S tier heroes. S tier at this point feels bad. I'm sorry, but it is that way. If you have like a ton of X tier and SSS tiers and you put them in your teams and you put S tiers next to it, they feel kind of bad. Then we have my IEA, not a bad role, not particularly great either. I at some points found me wanting a better one. Cosmic Enforcer Luna. Yom Tomb, I also wanted a better copy, but I think there was one time where it was like an SSS copy in the auction house and I didn't go for it. I feel like he's a little bit too bad. I don't see him become good, even though he has a very interesting skill set. Gaggy, nice one. If I thought about getting a big copy of him. I think there was at one point like an SS copy, and then I also didn't really do it. Same reason as Yom Tomb, really. I kind of feel like he lacks a little bit of power. TBB, this is actually the last time we did Awakening session, and we got this copy. I love the role, was super meta back then, because people running HHA, so you wanted your fast heroes to have taunt immunity. We got that on her, so this is very nice. Kept the copies good enough, so that is my OG stealth summon copy here. DGN could use an upgrade by now. Roll is great, the crit, not really, but Giant Kill Fire Fear immunity is very, very nice, so I love that. Ilamak, yeah, not really worth talking about. Doom Terminator Vulcan, always like pretty bad. Cleared all of Void Campaign when I wanted it for me. Worked. Yeah, could be a better copy, honestly, at this point. It's a little bit bad. BQA, next copy we're going to see in the Transcendent series. Varicune Vessa, I downgraded to this copy, but we have nice attack at least, so that's something. Starwing Jara, hero I love. Hero that probably sadly won't make a comeback. I'm honest. It sadly won't happen. ATD, underrated in my opinion. Very, very great Void Campaign hero. I think there could be a few very interesting meme accounts. Every time people ask me, hey, Wraec, I want to make like a meme account, something, an interesting project that you don't see too often. I say ATD, honestly, because you still have fun with them. It will be a cool time you have with them. You can actually clear stuff with an ATD. And then people end up using something else, of course. And then they go with Star Alchemist Holmes Young or something like this as a main copy and get stuck at like the first Void Campaign stage. Cool. That's not really my idea of fun. And that's really it for like my S-tier heroes and mostly. So for heroes, I think that is it. But there will be one addition to it. And maybe this is like an interesting way to get over to resources on this account. Because what we are going to do, and in fact it's already announced on the channel, we are going to go for Awakening session, and in fact we are going to get the SSS core, the highest reward there is. The Age announced it, we are going to get it. The live stream is announced on my channel, and I want you to head over there after you've watched this video. You will head over there, and there is a button to get a notification. You will hit that button so that you don't miss this live stream, because I prepared, and now we're getting a little bit in the resources. I prepared 600,000 contract starry. We still have 135k normal starry. You saw we have like a few things we can retire as well if we run out of contract starry. And we have a ton of copies ready to go to get us that #1 slot. We are going to get the SSS core, and it's no ifs and maybes. We're going for absolutes. So this is going to be it. We are going to summon for it. If you are a whale maybe and you wanted to summon for it too, you can go ahead. You can go ahead. You can do your summons. Just don't be unhappy if it doesn't work out for you. Yeah, I just warn you in advance. We are definitely going to go for it. No matter if you got like 30k points already, if you got 40k points already when I start my stream, we are going to go for it. So this is going to be definitely a thing. Just as a little bit of a warning. Yeah, so we talked about Starry, talked about Contract Starry. We do have a little bit of that here, by the way, while we are on the auction house. Quick look, 32,771 is, by the way, my credit rating. It's not super high compared to other people, I don't know. And yeah, so going into the resources, we do have a bunch of copies. We do have a bunch of other resources as well. In fact, I collected a ton of resources for Star Souls. We do have every single Star Soul maxed, so I don't even necessarily want to show that because it's just all max. Every single Star Soul is max for what it can be, so you can probably review that on your own account in just the listings for it. We have some extra materials here. And in fact, for some of those, Butterfly Cosmic Rhythm, for example, I prepared in case they release an enhanced version. I had to take some Star Soul materials. I couldn't do anything with it. So we do have some extra Sanctified Star Souls here, just in case any of those get released as an enhanced version. And we do have ability materials. We do have the other materials there as well. I don't care much for Ethereal Realm. There isn't much to show there in that sense because I don't really progress it. I don't use Ethereal Realm anymore, except for Realm Clash, where I think it's interesting. The other stuff just takes too much time for me. It's not worth it, in my opinion. I sit on DT mats at the moment. We got some summoning stones as well. We got a ton of sigil cores. Summoning stones will all be opened during the awakening session. 12 million COD and a ton of Starspawn materials, where we go into the Starspawns later. I have to reroll one of them definitely. Then we got some general materials there. 18 million Stellar Shards. We got 40 of the Divine Power Aurora Gems, 66k there, 2.7 mil. I can't use it at the moment. All my Transcendence heroes have DT on them, and I would need to build like duplicate ones, which I don't really intend to at the moment. I don't need it for anything, so that's also keeping me back a little bit in terms of the Transition Temple, where I'm not at the max level. I would need 3 more heroes, but that requires me in fact to get 3 more Transcendence heroes than I currently have. So all my Transcendence heroes do have DT. I just need 3 more Transcendence heroes. So I could build duplicates. I did once. I built 1 duplicate TBB, which we have over here. We do have 2 TBBs. There's 1, there's 2. Could build a 3rd one. Don't really want to at the moment. Even though I could at any moment I wish to. I do have the core chest for it. So we have a ton of sublimation materials. It's a little bit unequal, I noticed last time, so we have to get some passive skill 1 sublimation materials, I guess. Star Soul symbols kind of stacked up, which is good. Ton of master toolboxes, some tickets. Saving up on cores also for the awakening session. And then we have guild treasure coupons. I buy 3 a day. And I just kind of hope they enhance it at one point or release some more. 6.5 million treasure crystals. Never really got to use them. I have to be honest, every time they release a new series, I have like 1,000 tickets. And currently, I stopped even buying them in the Starry Gem Mall, which is kind of interesting, I guess. Exmo Stone, I usually run out, so that is not really a thing. And then we just have, like a ton of general materials, 3,500 profit ops, maybe noticeable, 11k wishing coins. Those are some of the more interesting ones. I guess we also do have the new infusion reversal scroll to reverse Grimoire infusion. We're pretty close to to an imprint infusion stone shard, to an imprint infusion stone. So for the 2nd imprint infusion, we got this already nearly done, halfway to enabling infusion, where I could use some more. And overall, my Grimoire, we are going to see it in a second. We got a ton of the IMEDs I don't really use, so that's a thing. Is there anything else we really have to see? Oh yes, that could be interesting. 4 million magic dust, so not a whole lot. 6 million euro promotion stones, so I'm rather prepared there. And at one point I wanted to do a 1000 basic summon scroll opening, forgot about it, and now we have 9,500, so that happened as well. Yeah, a ton of chests. A lot of chests with like treasure in there. I got every single one of those treasures as max, so I can't really do anything with it. And at one point I just stopped opening them. I just stopped opening them because I just didn't know what to do with them anymore. And yeah, so now they're sitting in my bag. We don't do anything really with it. We have this chest too from Black Friday with all of the Star Souls in there, which is great preparation for the case when they enhance one. We have a ton of those monster cultivation materials, where I don't really run out of monster cultivation materials. I run out of monster tickets and the monster treasures, so that's more of a problem. A lot of those chests as well, with like sublimation materials and cores and everything in there. There's 89 of those. Currently 206 deluxe gift boxes with sigil pages, very, very good. We do have a ton of artifact chests, not just those 8, but we have ones from basically all of the times. This one is particularly interesting though. Fairyland Folktale one, which includes origin artifacts, which I think is really, really cool. Yeah, ton of hero chests, ton of core chests as well. Sometimes the stacks just rack up, like this one for example. Those are 199 chests there. So quite insane. We do have more DT mats over here, 192 of those chests, which is quite insane in my opinion. So that's something. We have 17 origin artifact selection chests, which is also pretty cool. More hero chests that I just didn't use. And sometimes there's just stuff in between, like Cloud Island chest, just a weird, very weird chest. 795 of the monthly carnival chest. Also on this account. Some of those treasures again, 600 from the lock-in chest. Then we have another 13 artifact chests over here. Which ones are those? Wait, let me check. With mirror. Okay, so that's something. We have another 12 over here without mirror. So those go back in time, ladies and gentlemen. Those go quite a bit back in time. This one is only with like melodic strings, where this was still the new artifact. We have flag chests over here, 1307 of the normal Transcendence copy chest. Do we have an older artifact chest? No. This is in fact my oldest artifact chest. It ends at mirror. So that is fairly fancy. And then some stuff like down here, puppet selection chest, or this is the deluxe resource selection chest. So I know what is in here. I lost track at one point, and then I occasionally keep losing track of singular counts, but I know in general which chests are there. So if you can ask me, Wraec, can you build the TBB right now? I can tell you yes or no. I just have to put it together. So I have a general idea how much is in there. And I know, for example, that those sealant chests, they always stay in there. So I can open them occasionally to get like a big loot explosion, which I think is kind of funny. So that is possible, by the way. Interesting 573 boxes right here, which will be fun. We will all open those and doing the awakening session. So this is it in terms of like chests. Then, oh, there's an, wait, I want to talk about one chest before we really get over it. Which is a weird one, which is this one. Skin selection chest Cloud Island. I've not done a full video about this, but I really thought they would do another skin for the Cloud Island. I would have set the designer there and told them, make like a skin for every single time we release a Void Campaign Island. I want you to think of a skin that fits to it, make that and release it, and we put it in the shop for $20 or something. I would have done that. I don't know. I always thought it's interesting that we basically got the Viking skin, and that was it. And I got the full Viking skin, by the way. I'm not like one of those plebs that don't have the full Viking skin. We got a little upgrade here. We're going to go over this in a second, though, not now. I got the full Viking skin. There were later on, I think there was 1 or 2 events where you couldn't get the wall. I got the Viking wall, so we have that. Yeah, full Viking skin. Achievement-wise, we're going to come back to the island. Heroes, back. We got about nearly 15,000 5-star shards over here. We got all of the other shards. I mean, this are like 300 shadow shards. We got another 300 shards over here. Even elite shards, we got 323. We can build 35,000 4-stars, which I'm going to do at one point. We have an S-tier puppet from that we can use for soul perfection. We have a few B+, B-tier puppets, B- puppets. We have every single hero that you can think of. It exists on this account. We can scroll down and basically summon everything. We have 3,300 5-star fortress puppet shards, so we can summon 66 of them. We do have copies of Ithaca, of Horus, of Garuda, of Gustin, of Jara, of Valkyr. It doesn't matter. It is on this account. We have all of the stuff that ever came from Prophet Ops in this bag. And I can summon basically every single hero specifically that I want to summon specifically. If I do intend so, I can mostly do it. So that's a thing. We even have like bigger stacks for something like Queen, which will be pretty cool because we're definitely going to use that. We're going to summon all of those that are in here. So this pack, and this is partly the reason I want to do it right now, this pack will be a before Awakening session, and we will see my plundered reserves after Awakening session in a separate video, which I think is kind of fun and of an idea, because this account right now to me is fairly glorious because it is so overfilled with everything. It's an hoarder account, and you're basically looking at this little treasure cave or something which is filled to the rim with gold, and we're going to plunder it completely during Awakening session. It will be insanely fun, which is also the reason why I encourage you to join this stream. Of course, we can't get rid of those, but yeah, so like this continues. This continues even into the 3-stars, even into the 1-stars. And shout out to the people down in the comments that can tell me where I got those 2 shards. Where did I get those 2 foolish copies? Because you can't summon them in the game anymore. The OGs know where I got those 2. So tell me down in the comments if you know it. And I will leave you like a heart on the comments if it's correct. So that will be fun. Yes. So that is really it in terms of resources of this account. I think the next thing we really have to talk about is a little bit of achievements. PvE-wise, there isn't really much to say. I'm not stuck in Void Campaign. I was tired of it, really. Because I will show you. Valk. This one is okay, I guess. KB is annoying. Here they went for SQH, CSG, and TVB as annoying enemies. It's Valk again. Oh, it's again Valk. This is okay. It's Valk again. And Homsiang actually. Is CSG on this one. Then you go for the second one. And you start off with King Barton, Cthulhu, which is annoying. You go into 6 Gustin. And then you have Homsiang again. Homsiang with, of course, with Sherlock again. Then we have SQH. And then it goes into Valk. And then into Homsiang again. And then into Valk again. And if you have, I made like a list of like 5 heroes I consider like particularly annoying. And they repeat over and over and over again. And I can't see it anymore. I can't see it anymore, guys. It is like mind-breakingly stupid, and I really want them to release like some kind of refreshment for this game mode. I don't know. Just get rid of like, try to design Void Campaign without Valk, Gustin, Homsiang, King Barton, or Cthulhu. And CSG. Just take those out and try to make an interesting Void Campaign island. And if you manage to do that, it will probably be a good game mode. So I just lost interest. It doesn't give me anything. That comes on top of it. It would give me a Void Horde, but loot-wise, yeah, it's not that interesting. So I didn't really care about that. Bosses we have all cleared. Holo Campaign, was I still lazy? I still have done Holo Campaign. Oh my god. Oh my god. How far? Is it really released till 12? No, it isn't, right? They just put that in there. I don't even know. At one point we have to do that. Whee! That is crazy. Let's get back into Celestial Island because we had like those huts over here. Avatar Gallery. I'm actually number 62. I used to be a little bit higher up. I'm lacking some of the avatars for Starland Arena, for example, which I'm just not going to get. I didn't really work towards it. Equipment Gallery, I'm placed 24 for whatever reason. I didn't really build a ton of equipment quite recently. So at one point I was further behind in this as well. Artifact Gallery, place 27, 930 over here. And then lastly, Skin Gallery, I'm place 16. I used to be, I think, even place 1. Yeah, don't really care about that anymore. So that's the thing. Avatar-wise, I'm just going to give you a quick scroll through. I don't have all the old ones. There are, of course, some really OG ones. They had a chest at some points where you could get the older avatars, like this one is, for example, is Limited Memorial Avatar. They released this for some times. And some of those are for special occasions, some of those are not for everybody. I don't have them all. I have this one, for example, 2nd anniversary, even though I didn't play back then. I have the avatar for it. I got this from a chest. We're going to hunt for this one, the Son of Eclipse. This is going to be a video pretty soon. And I got like 2020 from there on out. I really got everything. This was the Black Friday avatar from 2019. That's a cool one. I really mostly got everything unless outside of the Starland ones. I didn't get those. And I didn't get the Wanderer's badge on this account. Got it on Amazon. On Amazon I got it. I don't have the Glory Defender yet. Because I didn't really care for those minigames. And obviously, I mean, yeah, the book. Yeah, the book I didn't get. So that was the thing. Avatar frames. Yeah, we made a video about that recently. It's not too interesting. I think skin is not interesting. Let's go artifact. So if you just wanted to know what I have on this account, do I plan to build crowns? I didn't really see the big use yet. They can't protect you from the enemy. I don't like this one. Won't build it. That's the base version. I don't need it. Maybe I will build a crown. I have the option open because we have all the origin artifacts. I don't use flags too often anymore, but I have a lot of them. We do have a full set of Fortune J-Toad, which is kind of funny if we ever get a sustain meta. We are in this situation that we can build any single artifact, so that works. I got the normal Massa card, and of course the deific one as well, which I have no idea where it actually is, but we got it. We got the deific version. I'll probably see it a bit later. Yeah, there it is. It's going to be a video that we are going to make about it. And yeah, for till then we will see. Beyond that, I mainly got every single artifact. I never built a fan for whatever reason. Used to be super meta. Didn't really go for it anymore. Soul Seeker's Touch, also not really that interested in. And for the Breath of Forest Spirit, it only shows the Splendid version. We do have a Glittery, and I was asked about this. I was asked, Wraec, Why is this only glittery? And because we're talking about the account, let's talk about this as well. It should be on my LFA, right? Yes. You do in fact only upgrade the all damage reduction. So the all damage dealt buff that you get at the end of each round, that is the same on glittery as it is on splendid. The stats are the same as they are on splendid, and thus your damage with the glittery one is the same as with the splendid one. The only difference is you get more all damage reduction, which I don't need on my LFA, so I just kept it at glittery. Yep, that's the entire reason. And yeah, so then we have some more stuff. We of course have a big gameplay part in the Primal Grimoire, currently Grimoire Enabling Chapter 1 is maxed. We got a pretty good amount of very, very powerful sigils, red sigils as well. Skill damage, I can still see some improvements here, but we got multiple there. Control immunity, skill damage. I like the Void Invasion one, could be a little bit more damage. For Interdimensional Arena, I want to kind of get a speed upgrade still. We got a crazy FTA one. It's at 544 speed for Interdimensional Arena. We could now go for it. Dodge rate, very good stat there. We could now go for it and get like the also 500 speed one. I don't know what I want to do for the next game mode, because this is still like, yeah, rather bad. I don't know which one I would go over there for. We do have more sigils here, which I don't know what to do with. Eventually we'll go for it. Cap currently at 125. It is kind of my max for the moment, I'll be honest, because I have 3 heroes. Obviously my 3 X tiers, they are all at level 15, but the next best is my SQH, and my SQH is actually just right here, level 7, so we would need a fair amount of redstones there to actually unlock a level cap beyond 125, so that will have a very, very ugly situation, will result in that, where at one point we'll have to stop upgrading Grimoire 2, get back to those redstones, get the redstones going for my SQH for 1 or for probably 2 events, right? And then go back to upgrading from 125 to 150, really, which is kind of ugly. Not really looking forward to it. The main thing we're going to do, however, first is going to upgrade the skill tree here further on my LFA. Right now I'm skilled towards this. Probably going to change that. That was an experiment actually. Yeah, but so we are going to get the max amount of points there, which is probably not going to be too much time. So I guess like one more event. If it's really 25, which is the cap, this is at 21. That should only be one more event. We are going to see. It will be interesting. So that is it in terms of Grimoire. If we look at my achievements, right, really the achievements, only the basic someone really is open here. We can complete that at any point because we have 9,500 summons there. We got to 362 on the consecutive heroic summons. We have to do a video about this. We will do a gamble video about this, will be fun. Account registration, of course, completed. Force was completed. 40,000 summons in Treasure Train. We got the we got 8,800 awakenings, which is not a lot. We are in fact going to get more than we ever did in the next awakening session. We're probably more than double that. So that will be very interesting. Our sealant we can take a look at. Void Vortex, I'm obviously maxed. I got my my Perfect Smash in Realms Gate at 180, so that's also done. I don't think that's too interesting. I slacked on Tower of Oblivion, and I continue to do so. I continue to forget about it. I don't know the enhanced stat. It went completely over my head, guys. You can't tell anybody about this, but I forgot it. At one point, people told me, "Oh, it's cleared," and I was like, "What is cleared?" And I was still at like 30 or something. I don't know. I didn't. Nobody told me about this. You guys did this without me. It is crazy. So yeah, no idea. Realms Gate, as I said, 14,000 cores, and we apparently follow them on Facebook. So heroic summons 106,652, which is crazy because I remember like 2 years ago Franco Car had already more than that. So yeah, which is crazy. It's 2 years ago. 29,000 profit summons. A ton of quests. I mean, we're just going to scroll over that. That's not too interesting, I reckon. We got 102,000 4-star heroes. VIP 13. I know some people always ask about like the specific VIP XP, but it doesn't actually show them. So I can't really say much about it. Yeah. And then we have like, lastly, probably the star spawns. We can quickly go over them. Very, very high roll armor break. Love it. Then we have this wonderful block one. Also pretty cool. Block 178. I tried to get like at least a decent roll on all of this. The HP one I don't really care about, I'll be honest, because that one doesn't really give a ton. 177 there on the skill damage is basically as good as the others. This one could be improved a little bit. We do have a ridiculous high roll here also on the all damage dealt. Could still probably do a little bit there. Crit damage reduction while 79 is crazy high. I actually destroyed that one recently. This is the one that I still have to fix. It's 160% right now. I kind of still have to fix it. I do have the material for it. What happened was I went in here. I did the batch assess, and the batch assess takes 1,000 years. And if you click the wrong, my brain deactivated. I clicked the wrong button and I accepted a super trashy one. And now I really have to fix it. And it has to be brought back to over 170 at least. I kind of want a red one on there. 164. I have to tell you guys about this. I was re-rolling. I think it was, no, it wasn't this one. Which one was it? One of those. I think even this one. Want to get crit damage and armor break. And it rolled over like an S-tier stone. A crappy one, a horrible one. It had worse armor break and crit. It has, I think, the same armor break, but I was rolling for armor break and crit damage have to be both better. It had super high on the fixed attack. It had super high armor break. It had super bad crit damage. So it wasn't one that I would take. But it was an S-tier stone. And it rolled over it. And I could see it like from the side of my eye. I had the phone lying on the table. And it was rolling automatically through the batch assess. And the thing that I saw was just like this S-tier stone. And I was watching a YouTube video like in split screen mode. And I was trying to stop it because I just wanted to take a screenshot of it. Of this S-tier stone. And it just rolled it away automatically. And I was like, great. I think they should kind of enhance this feature so that you can say, hey, when I get an S-tier stone, you at least stop. So that I can at least take a screenshot. Please. It would be nice. Yeah, so this is my only redstone. It's not really good, honestly. But it's a redstone, so I like it. It feels like it's easier to get like a redstone or something when you have like the 2-stat ones rather than the bigger ones with like 4 stats. Those feel kind of buggish, or buggy, I should say. I think the calculation there is a bit wrong. You can get high rolls, but they're not particularly high stars overall. So yeah, usually with those, I try to get a decent high roll on one of those, and then I'm like kind of done with it. So this is currently what I have. Yeah, I have to get the control immunity one fixed, but then we are good to go. Obelisk of Heroes, maybe we take a look at that. I'm pretty decent in all factions. We are placed 10 there. I never really went for it. We just do have a very big account, and maybe I show that because there's something that I didn't really show. Let's just go by imprint for a second. And I do have a ton of heroes built, actually. We never really scrolled down that far, but I do have a ton of heroes built, and I plan to build every single one, actually. I do want to build every single possible 10-star and make it like really an A5. I don't want to build 10 stars, I want to build E5s, and I want to do that. And I was waiting for some point where I could do this, and honestly now they are starting to raise the hero slots, and I think that will be very interesting. Maybe we do that, and not immediately after the Awakening session, because we won't have any copies to upgrade then, but a bit later. I'm thinking about like March, something like this. That could be interesting. But we are nonetheless, without like a big building spree that we could do, we are on place 10. Big Whale number 7 here is of course on place 4. I have to say that at this point, shout out to No7, my free team up partner there. Transcendence Heroes place 21, which is utterly unimpressive, really. Place 79 light, place 15 in dark. For some reason I like dark heroes. Forest place 51, we are 76 in Abyss, 31 in Fortress, and we are not even on the list in Shadow, which is crazy to me that you guys all have so many Shadow heroes. I guess it can't be that far. Yeah, 670. So it could be up there fairly fast. But yeah, I'm not on the list there. I'm not on the list. 630 isn't even that bad. Like, look at that. We have 76 here with like 590. So yeah, of course, that is like the thing. We do have, or the roadmap objectives, I guess. Skill isn't really too interesting. Monster we could take a small look at. We do have a fully upgraded Phoenix. Monster Aura isn't completely upgraded. I went for the other monster now first, trying to get more stats on that and trying to upgrade the abilities because I think it's more interesting. Reset this one. This one grants the flat crit, which I didn't really want to have. Those two are upgraded. We got a fairly decent speed bonus from it. I plan to upgrade this one first, the apparition, because I think it just has the stronger ability with freeze, cold, chill and everything. It's just a little bit more PvP oriented, a little bit better for that. But we do need all the treasures that we can get, which we can quickly go over. I don't want to go over every single treasure series, maybe the more interesting ones. To keep it short, of the list that you see here, every single normal series is maxed. That means something like hero token is maxed. We do, of course, not have the max on all of those. Arcane Jewelry, I mainly have to say I was lazy. Yes, this is a situation right now. I'm getting punished for it. And maybe it is just. Maybe it is just that I get punished for it. Yeah, that is tough, guys. Let's be honest. 119 out of 120. And then we have this one. I think I missed 2 seasons. Yeah, happened. The rest is maxed. So, that's good. Festival treasures. I got all the important ones. Like, really pretty well upgraded overall. There's some that I don't have. Like 2023 festival treasures, by the way, if you ever buy an account, take a look at those. Because some of those are crazy. I still want to upgrade this one, kind of. Which is Castle. We got a lot of those that are very, very good, like the Mage Ranger, Assassin Speed one, all of the all damage dealt ones. We, of course, have stuff like the Holy Damage Transcendence Hero and Crit Damage Transcendence Hero, the really important ones. Those two are so much damage. If you buy an account, you want to have those. So we got those, so I'm very happy about it. Yeah, then we have Festival Treasures right here. About those, I don't think there's much to say. I kind of still really want to upgrade this. I don't know, it would be like a good one to do on an event that I would otherwise skip. It's a 35 speed one for PvP, so it's fairly powerful. Guild Treasures, fully maxed. Thought I kind of jumped over those. Paradise Treasures, as far as you can have them. Then we have Festival Treasures for 2025, where we have particularly good progress, actually. We're doing fairly well, I think. +9. Yes, I do really want to upgrade it. Yeah, I kind of hate it, before you ask. It is the case that I hate this. Phoenix Soul Pact, 5-star there, so we have the maxed out level at least, and on the rest we have to make more progress. We are +9 here. Should probably upgrade those at some point. The +9 is horrible, my god. Should probably do that at one point. Hey, look, we can get the avatar. I had the avatar. I'm pretty sure I had that before. Maybe it's because I reset it. I don't know. Strange Monsters is, of course, max. Weaponry of Valor, I didn't go for the max. We have 3-star on all of those. And then Apparition Soul Pact, we're still working towards the 5-star here, but it will take a fair amount of extra treasures that we still need to acquire to actually do this. And then we have some very, very low progress on some of the specific ones here. Apparently we can get the avatar there too for whatever reason. But that's really all I think I can say about this account. We talk now for nearly an hour. Maybe we do fill this hour with the end of this. Right now, and maybe we can use this for a little bit of an advertisement. There is still a discount going on SG Hub. And it's called BF Prep. If you say BF Prep or I'm here for the discount, both is fine, honestly. In your SG Hub ticket, you will get a discount on your Starry Gems. And the discount will be 2 USD on the prices that we list in our SG price list. So if it says the price is 27 per 2,500 SG, so 27 USD per 2,500 SG, then this will become 25 per 2,500 SG. So big discount actually. Helped a lot of people already buy some very, very cheap SG. So I hope you will use this and get yourself some extra story gems. I don't know if we will end it with Black Friday. Probably we will keep it running for a few more days. So don't worry if you see this video on the Friday, Saturday or whatever. Just hop into the SG Up channel if you want some story gems, open a ticket and say you just saw the video, BF prep, can you still get the discount? We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen, guys. So that is definitely possible. Yeah, so I do hope we can get a very, very great awakening session going. We can run the awakening session simulator, of course, by Snow. This is active again if you saw the old video. I just hope for a lot of people that join into the live stream. We're going to do one live stream tomorrow. And then the next live stream is going to be next week on Thursday. So just about the day the event ends, so that we do the end of the event together once again. That we do this together and you can see the entire process of basically finishing this event. Hopefully as place one. There's a little bit of a problem still that like you can now push for an insane amount of points in a very, very, very short time. Because of course, Quick Awaken will be active. So you can do 10 awakens at a time. You can skip cutscene. You can make it super fast. And as long as you have like a big amount of slots, which we have on this account, you can push an insane amount of points in a very, very short time. So that's something that is worrying, but we will see how it ends up. I hope nobody dares go for our SSS core, and then we can all be happy and have a nice time, have a nice stream, and hopefully some extra nice summons. Other than that, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see us in the next one.